Something is happening in Florida that real estate agents don't want you to see. While the headlines still show sun-soaked beaches and luxury listings, the numbers underneath tell a completely different story. Across the Sunshine State, home prices are sliding, not just softening, not just normalizing, actually falling. And in some markets, they are falling hard. In the first 3 months of 2026 alone, median sale prices dropped in 39 out of the 129 largest cities across the United States. And a disproportionate number of those cities are right here in Florida. The average Florida home value has now fallen to $384,811, a drop of 4.3% over the past year. That is not a rounding error. That is billions of dollars of wealth being quietly erased from homeowners' balance sheets. About half of Floridians say they are considering leaving the state because of its high cost of living, according to a poll from Florida Atlantic University's Business and Economic Polling Initiative. Insurance costs are spiraling, property taxes have surged, and the wave of pandemic-era buyers who drove prices to absurd heights are now selling or fleeing. Today, we are counting down the 10 Florida cities where home prices are crashing hardest right now in 2026. We are going from number 10 down to number 1, so stay with us, because the city at the top of this list will genuinely shock you. Before we get into the list, if you are new here, this channel covers Florida real estate, city rankings, and relocation guides with real data, real sources, and no fluff. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a report. Now let's get into it. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a name that might surprise you, Homosassa Springs, a small Gulf Coast community in Citrus County, best known for its manatee refuges and nature springs. During the pandemic boom, Homosassa Springs attracted buyers priced out of Tampa and Orlando looking for affordable rural living near the water. Demand spiked, prices followed, and for a moment, this quiet town looked like the next up-and-coming Florida destination. That moment has passed. Homosassa Springs now appears on Realtor.com's list of Florida metro areas, recording meaningful year-over-year losses in home value, part of a broader wave hitting 29 Florida markets simultaneously. The fundamentals were never strong enough to support the inflated prices. Homosassa Springs has limited job opportunities, minimal commercial infrastructure, and an economy that cannot attract the high-income remote workers who briefly drove demand. When those buyers pulled back and insurance costs hit, prices had nowhere to go but down. For buyers who want a peaceful, nature-adjacent Florida lifestyle, this correction may be creating real opportunity. But sellers who bought at peak are feeling genuine pain. At number 9, we move to the Deltona-Daytona Beach-Ormond Beach Corridor, a sprawling stretch of central and northeast Florida that attracted massive attention during the pandemic for its relative affordability compared to South Florida. The Deltona-Daytona Beach-Ormond Beach metro area is now facing projected home price declines of approximately 3.6%, according to Realtor.com's 2026 National Housing Forecast. Realtor.com data tracking year-over-year changes from January 2025 to January 2026 places Deltona-Daytona Beach-Ormond Beach among the 9 Florida metro areas seeing meaningful losses in median home values. The story here is familiar. A wave of out-of-state buyers, mostly from the Northeast, pushed prices far beyond what local incomes could reasonably support. Add in rising homeowners' insurance premiums, a construction boom that added significant new inventory, and a slowdown in in-migration. And the math simply does not work anymore. Days on market are climbing. Price reductions are becoming standard. And sellers who aren't adjusting their expectations quickly are watching their listings go stale. Number 8 may be the most unexpected entry on this list. Wildwood and the Villages, Florida's famous retirement mega community that for years seemed immune to market forces. The Villages, straddling Sumter and Marion counties, became a cultural phenomenon, a self-contained world of golf carts, pickleball courts, and perpetual sunshine for active adults 55 and older. Prices surged as demand for retirement real estate exploded during the pandemic. As of Q1 2026, the Villages market is recording a year-over-year price decline of 4.0%, according to House Canary market data. The Villages has its own distinct market dynamics, but it is not immune to broader economic trends. The projected dip reflects a normalization of demand after a period of intense interest from retirees. Here is the core issue. The Villages attracted buyers who were selling expensive homes in the Northeast and Midwest to relocate. As those source markets cool and home equity gains slow in other states, the pipeline of cash-flush retirees is thinning. At the same time, high carrying costs, particularly insurance and HOA fees, are making the economics less attractive than they once appeared. A 4% decline may sound modest, but in a community built entirely on retirement security, any erosion of home value hits differently. At number 7, we head inland to Ocala, a mid-sized city in Marion County that became one of Florida's hottest real estate stories during the pandemic era. Ocala positioned itself as the affordable alternative. Land was cheap, taxes were relatively low, and it was within driving distance of both Orlando and Gainesville. Builders moved in fast, construction accelerated, and prices rose sharply. Ocala is now among the Florida cities experiencing notable price declines in early 2026, according to data from real estate analytics company Atom. House Canary data shows Ocala recording a year-over-year price decline of approximately 2.7% as of Q1 2026. But the deeper story is even more troubling. According to Realtor.com data, Ocala saw the single largest loss in home seller profit margins in the entire country, even surpassing Punta Gorda, making it a significant cautionary tale for investors who poured money into the market expecting endless growth. The construction boom left Ocala with too much inventory and not enough organic demand to absorb it. Unlike coastal Florida markets, Ocala doesn't have a beach or waterfront premium to prop up prices. When demand softened, there was nothing to catch the fall. Coming in at number 6 is the Lakeland-Winter Haven metro area, a fast-growing corridor between Tampa and Orlando that attracted enormous attention from home builders and investors alike. Lakeland's story during the pandemic was textbook boomtown: affordable prices, strong job growth in distribution and logistics, and a steady stream of Tampa transplants priced out of Hillsborough County. Then the builders arrived, in force. Lakeland saw a boom in new construction that has left the city with an inventory glut and a noticeable uptick in foreclosures, according to Jenna Stauffer, a global real estate advisor at Sotheby's International Realty. The Lakeland-Winter Haven area is now among the Florida markets experiencing price declines in early 2026, according to Atom data. Realtor.com's year-over-year tracking places Lakeland-Winter Haven among the metros recording meaningful home value losses from January 2025 to January 2026. The average home value in Lakeland has slipped to around $315,000, down more than 3% year-over-year. For buyers, that still may not represent true value, because insurance costs in Polk County have risen sharply, and the foreclosure uptick suggests some homeowners bought at peak prices they simply cannot sustain. Watch this market carefully. Number 5 brings us to the Florida Panhandle, specifically Panama City Beach, one of the state's most popular vacation destinations and a market that attracted heavy speculative investment during the post-pandemic travel boom. The appeal was obvious. White sand beaches, warm Gulf waters, and a thriving short-term rental economy made Panama City Beach look like a guaranteed winner. Investors bought condos expecting strong Airbnb income and rising demand. Many of those expectations have since fallen apart. Over the 3 months ending May 2026, Panama City Beach home prices were down 4.1% compared to the same period last year, selling for a median price of $384,000, according to Redfin. On average, homes are now sitting on the market for 106 days. Panama City Beach currently has a 10.8-month supply of housing inventory, an extreme buyer's market by any standard. Nearly 11 months of supply means sellers are badly outnumbered. Short-term rental regulations have tightened across the Panhandle. Insurance costs for beachfront and near-beach properties are crushing cash flow projections. And the investors who bought assuming appreciation would continue are now competing against each other in a race to the exit. Buyers looking for a vacation property in the Florida Panhandle are suddenly in the driver's seat. At number 4, we move to one of Florida's most prestigious addresses, Naples and Marco Island, the ultra-luxury Gulf Coast enclave long considered recession-proof by virtue of its wealthy buyer base. Naples has always been different. Median prices well above the state average, a high concentration of cash buyers, and a global reputation as a premier retirement destination gave it a cushion that other Florida markets simply don't have. But even Naples is not immune to what is happening right now. The Naples-Marco Island metro area recorded a year-over-year price decline of approximately 5.97% between January 2025 and January 2026, making it one of the 4 worst-performing metros in the entire United States over that period. Naples-Immokalee-Marco Island is confirmed among the Florida metro areas experiencing price declines in early 2026, according to Atom data. The culprit, in large part, is the condo market. After Florida's new building safety laws were enacted following the Surfside collapse, mandatory reserve funding requirements have dramatically increased carrying costs for condo owners across the coast. Many older condo buildings in Naples are now financially burdensome to own. Sellers are cutting prices to move units, and even wealthy buyers are hesitating when the monthly fees and insurance bills are added up. A market that once seemed untouchable is now showing real cracks. Bronze medal on our list goes to Punta Gorda, a small, peaceful city on Charlotte Harbor that became one of Florida's most aggressively hyped real estate markets during the pandemic. Punta Gorda sits just north of Cape Coral and Fort Myers, sharing many of the same vulnerabilities. Coastal exposure, hurricane risk, skyrocketing insurance, and a buyer base composed heavily of retirees and remote workers who have since retreated. Punta Gorda has recorded the biggest percentage price drop of any Florida metro area, with a decline of nearly 8% and a median loss of $26,624 in home value from January 2025 to January 2026, according to Realtor.com data. 4 of the 5 United States metro areas that experienced the biggest drop in home prices between January 2025 and January 2026 were located in Southwest Florida, with Punta Gorda leading the list at a decline of 11.93%. Those numbers are staggering. An 11.93% year-over-year decline is not a correction. That is a collapse. Profit margins for home sellers in Punta Gorda plunged from 88% to 58% in a single year. Homeowners who bought at peak are sitting on losses that dwarf what they ever imagined possible. And with insurance costs continuing to rise and hurricane season looming every year, recovery is not guaranteed anytime soon. At number 2, we have the North Port Sarasota-Bradenton corridor, a stretch of Gulf Coast Florida that spent years being celebrated as the perfect blend of cultural sophistication and affordable beach living. Sarasota, in particular, built a reputation as Florida's arts capital. World-class opera, architecture, galleries, and a downtown scene that attracted well-heeled buyers from across the country. North Port, the fastest-growing city in America just a few years ago, was supposed to be its affordable gateway. The North Port Sarasota-Bradenton metro area is facing an estimated price decline of approximately 8.9% in 2026, the second steepest projected decline in the entire United States, according to Realtor.com's National Housing Forecast. Year-over-year data tracking from January 2025 to January 2026 confirms a 7.54% price decline across the North Port Sarasota-Bradenton metro, one of the 4 worst performances in the nation. The combination of a construction surge, investor retreat, rising insurance, and post-hurricane hesitation has created a perfect storm. Homes that sold in bidding wars just 2 years ago are now sitting on the market for months. Price reductions are stacking up. And the cultural premium that Sarasota once commanded is not enough to offset the financial burden of owning property on this stretch of coast. If Realtor.com's projections hold, this market has further to fall before it finds its floor. And at number 1, by a wide margin, is the Cape Coral-Fort Myers metro area. This is ground zero for Florida's 2026 housing correction. No other market in the state, and arguably in the entire United States, is experiencing a more dramatic and documented decline in home prices right now. Cape Coral was the pandemic's darling. Young families, retirees, and investors from across the country poured into Lee County, drawn by waterfront canals, warm weather, no state income tax, and prices that looked cheap compared to coastal California or the Northeast. Builders raced to keep up with demand. Prices nearly doubled from 2019 to 2022. Then came Hurricane Ian. Then came the insurance crisis. Then came the condo reserve mandates. And then came the reckoning. The Cape Coral-Fort Myers region recorded the single largest home price decline of any major United States metro in the first quarter of 2026, with the median home sale price dropping 9% year over year to $341,250, according to ATTOM data. Realtor.com's 2026 National Housing Forecast projects a further decline of 10.2% for the Cape Coral-Fort Myers metro, a double-digit projected drop in a single year that is almost unheard of outside a full-blown recession. Year-over-year data confirms the Cape Coral-Fort Myers metro already recorded a 9.19% price decline from January 2025 to January 2026, placing it among the 4 worst-performing housing markets in the entire United States. A Wall Street Journal analysis found that prices in the Cape Coral-Fort Myers area have dropped by over 11% across recent years. Homes are sitting on the market for extended periods. When a property becomes uninsurable because of hurricane damage, it is not just losing a couple of percentage points of value. It can lose enormous value almost overnight, according to real estate professionals working in the region. Cape Coral's canal front lifestyle, once its greatest selling point, has become its greatest liability. Properties along the water face the highest insurance costs, the greatest hurricane exposure, and the most volatile buyer demand. The dream that millions of Americans invested in has, for now, become a cautionary tale. So there you have it, 10 Florida cities where home prices are crashing right now in 2026, ranked from the most modest declines to the most severe. From the retirement communities of the Villages to the waterfront canals of Cape Coral, the correction is real, it is broad, and it is backed by hard data. Statewide, Florida's median closed price sits at approximately $394,000 in Q1 2026, down 1.3% year over year, with homes sitting on the market for a median of 84 days, compared to 68 days just 1 year ago. Most analysts expect statewide Florida prices to decline a further 2 to 4% through year-end 2026, with Gulf Coast condos potentially experiencing even steeper drops. None of this means Florida is finished. The state still has no income tax, strong population growth in select metros, and a quality of life that continues to attract people from across the country. But the era of buying anything in Florida and watching it appreciate effortlessly, that era is over. If you are a buyer, this market is giving you leverage you have not had in years. If you are a seller, pricing realistically is no longer optional. It is survival. And if you are watching from the sidelines, you are watching one of the most significant real estate corrections in modern Florida history unfold in real time. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. That means a lot, and it tells us you are serious about staying informed on what is really happening in the Florida real estate market. If this video gave you value, please hit the like button. It helps more people find this report, and if you are not subscribed yet, now is the time. We cover Florida cities, housing trends, and relocation guides every week, all backed by real data. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a report. We will see you in the next one.